The Searcys came in the 1830s. This area was opened in 1825. As soon as that they got the go-ahead, the green light, they began to pour in from across the Ocmulgee River in Macon, and from that section of Georgia, they came over into our area, into the Flint River, and across the Flint.
Hey everybody, it's Robert coming to you with another adventure into history. Today we are at the site of the Searcy family cemetery in Talbot County, Georgia. I'm going to give a thank you to the landowner Jamie and Chris who invited us out to document it. And I'm here with my friend and area historian Mike Buckner. So Mike, tell me where we're at.
We are in the southeast section of Talbot County, more on the eastern side, and right on the fall line, right where the clay land meets the sand land, ocean front. And this Searcy family was related to my family. I can't explain it to you right now, but we all are related in this area. And of course, I'm standing next to William Searcy, who was the early settler of Talbot County, and his wife is to my left. We were always told that, and of course they had all passed away, even the last one buried right here, which is, we called him Uncle Dan Searcy, died in '43. And that was 10 years before I was born. But we always heard about Uncle Dan Searcy, and the road out here was the Dan Searcy Road, and the Plantation house was just a couple of 100 yards from here. And that house burned in the 20s. They were actually killing hogs that day, and it must have been a breezy, cold day, and the kitchen caught on fire, and with no fire protection, it was just a short time before it burned. It was not a two-story house. It was a single-story, 4-room with a wide hall, a typical Southern plan. But after the house burned, they built back in the late 20s or early 30s a bungalow-style home, which still stands today.
So this stone has the weeping willow engraved on top of it. William Searcy, born November 1777, died November 16th, 1871, aged 94 years. And the stone was made by Artope and Sons out of Macon, Georgia. Sitting on looks like a granite base it's sitting on too. Over here we have Martha Jane Searcy, born April 3rd, 1823. She died June 16th, 1900. Epitaph says, as a star that is lost, twin the daylight given, she hath faded away to shine brightly in heaven. This has father and mother, but I guess it's been reversed. It's over here. It's John Smith Searcy, born March 20th, 1820, and died April 13th, 1896. Cheerfully he gave his being up and went to share the holy rest that waits a life well spent. Again, we have William Stone. Over here we have his wife, Sarah Searcy. Another beautiful stone here. The rose on top, a wilted rose on top. It says Sarah Searcy, born September 1778, died March 13th, 1871, age 92 years and 7 months. So her husband lived just a few months after she passed away. This one says, asleep in Jesus. At the top of this one, it says at rest, and mother and father again, Sarah. What is that? Antoinette? Antoinelle? Searcy? February 13th, 1836 to December 21st, 1874. Then Father W.H. Searcy, May 30th, 1825 to January 26th, 1915. On his stone it says, "Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord." It's interesting to see the evolution of the markers here too. These in the 1870s to that one probably dates back to about 1915 with his death. This one, Searcy, U.S. Medical Corps. Charles H. Searcy, May 20th, 1898 to November 11th, 1918. Here rests a man. So he did not live very long. This is Allie King, wife of D.B. Searcy, November 17th, 1865 to February 1st, 1940. At the bottom it says, "Her children arise and call her blessed." Then the final burial here was Daniel Bartlett Searcy, August 16th, 1861 to November 6th, 1943. An honest man's the noblest work of God. And Mike, we were just talking a minute ago off camera about Artope and Son, the stonemasons from Macon, and you were telling me that they got shipped in on the railroad?
They were shipped in on the railroad to Highwood, Georgia, which is the closest depot. It was put in 1850s there. But we had the Central Georgia Railroad coming through from Macon, and most all of the old and beautiful markers came to Highwood for this area, and then wagoned to the site from Highwood.
Okay, so now we are down at the Searcy Manor. This is not the original house. As Mike explained a minute ago, the original house burned down, and then this one was built later, and we actually know exactly when it was built. And what were you telling me about?
Well, I was really excited when we ended up buying this house and kind of putting the property back together, because the people that are resting are the ones that built this. The cornerstones under the house, many of them are the original ones from the home that burnt down, that they went right on top of that. And the house is due for a birthday just next week. It's going to be 99. So that was a real nice treat to have that there, because we didn't see it for a long time till we started scrubbing down the house. The porch is the original wood. It really needs to be replaced. I wouldn't do any exercises out here. But the floor doesn't even have like and Mike Buckner could probably tell us more, there's not like a subfloor. It's just pine right on the rafters or the beams.
That's right.
16 foot. So there's a lot of bounce throughout the house everywhere. Everything's on its way to being better preserved, but I feel like it's in such good shape. It doesn't need a ton of restoration, but there are things that just need to be taken care of. We treated for really bad termites a few years ago. We showed up and they were flying all over the entire house inside and out. And they've done their damage underneath. We need to crawl under the house when you don't feel like it's covered in snakes, when it's too hot or it's not too cold. And yeah, we probably spend about a month a year just working on the house while we're up here.
All right.
So yeah, these are the original floors throughout the house, and the walls, you can tell where it's settled in places. And I love that it's got the picture rail.
Absolutely.
It's got a lot of great things.
Did y'all redo these floors?
They had been redone in the 90s. So they've been here like this for a while, and I don't think they need to be touched right now.
No, they look great.
Yeah, someone rewired, I think probably in the 80s, so it's got some updated electrical. This dog trot style hallway is my favorite thing in the world. This is one of the rooms that we had to crawl under the house, because I literally could walk through this room and it would rattle every glass from one corner to the next. The original house did not have electricity till the 40s. So the kitchen had a wood burning stove, and if you crawl up in the attic, it still has the brick up there in the chimney, which I'll probably pull out brick by brick and do something with it to keep it at the property, but not have it right over my head in the kitchen. All the doors are the original doors. I stripped a couple, and that was a task.
Oh, I bet. I bet. And aren't they so beautiful though when they are stripped?
Absolutely. I've read in the Rockaway books, the house that burned down the year before they threw this one up was an especially nice home.
Yes.
Yeah, just the way that it's written, how the windows went all the way down to the porch and you could walk straight out. But I do feel fortunate to be part of it. And each room has the ventilation where all the doors open up room to room. So I imagine, even though it gets really hot in the summer, it probably had to be better than some of the other properties that were more closed off in small rooms. A lot of the things I have throughout the house, I've found out in the woods behind the property.
Oh, that's cool. So,
And that rock, I keep going back to the Rockaway because I've read it so much. They had a blacksmith on the back of the property, and I found a lot of these buried just after a good rain.
yeah.
Find little horse parts, and to me that's pretty neat to keep them here.
No,
and imagine that they were used somewhere.
Exactly. No, I think there's nothing cooler than finding artifacts on the property that are related to it. I don't know, is it a dog? Did that come off the property?
I imagine it was off a fence, probably not from when the house was built, but somebody
Right.
had it here at some point.
I've never really seen one of those before, but that's cool.
Yeah. I looked it up and found it was like a fence part, like a little monument you'd put on the front of a gate.
And then this is cobbler shoe.
Yeah.
Cobblers,
Yeah.
is that the right word? So that's neat too.
But like things like this, old mason jar
Yeah.
lids.
The glass insulator.
Yeah, I have a handful of those that I found crawling underneath the house. And up in the attic, there's some it would seem like trash, but I kind of treasure them because they've been here since the beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
I imagine what if somebody was eating their lunch up there while they were framing up the house. These fireplaces, the rumor is that they're the original fireplaces and they just build up to it. But they're in bad shape. Everybody that comes over wants to light a fire, and I'm like, absolutely not. We don't have
Right.
fire departments down the road. They were boarded up, and sometimes I wonder if I should have kept them boarded up. So those two bedrooms, it backs up to each other, and the dining room and the front room do. And then they had the wood burning stove in the back corner of the house. So I'm sure it was, I think they did good when they were building it
Yeah,
to make it comfortable.
absolutely.
But it burned down just a year before it was marked out there on the porch. So they threw this up in a jiffy.
Yeah, sure did. And it is, it's interesting, back then. I mean, we see a lot of houses that get thrown up today, but how quickly they got it done back then too.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
no power tools.
Well, and there was a need.
Yeah.
They had to get a roof back over their head.
Exactly.
Yep.
All by hand. No nail guns, no power tools.
Yeah.
But that's cool. It's a beautiful, beautiful house. And again, I like what you've done with it. When we were standing outside looking at it, I saw this, I guess, the kind of dog trot straight through.
It
I
is
think
my
that's
favorite
cool.
part of the place.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing this bit of Talbot County history. Big thank you to Jamie and Chris for inviting us out and letting us document it. Of course, big thank you to Mike for coming out and sharing his knowledge of this. We were talking about off camera too. The house was here. Cemetery is through the woods that way. And when this land was all cleared off, like it would have been back when this house was built, and of course the Plantation house was here, you could see the cemetery from here too. So they're right over there, and y'all had purchased this separately, so I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it was a
Y'all putting
treat.
it back
So
together.
glad you got together.
I know. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I own the other 13 acres on that
Yes,
side.
he's
so
our other neighbor.
It's not going away unless I let you have it.
Well, we'll be ready when
And
you're
it's
ready.
on camera, so you got it.